I don't know.
Well, here we are out in the Parker, Arizona, Lake Havasu area, Bill Williams Nature Reserve. There's a trail. You can see all these dead trees, these burnt dead trees that will impact this trail need to be cut. So here I am on an 9 hour road trip here. And it's got me going down some dirt road. I don't know where I am. Out in the middle of far east Oregon, headed towards Nevada. Dirt road trucking, here we go. Fuck, 10 miles of this one. All right. Well, we'll see if I make it. Oh, balls. Well, we are back on the road. It is 9:32, leaving Winnemucca, Nevada. Oh, last night was it was a close call. I left Sisters and I filled up in Sisters and I figured, there'll be a gas station along the way somewhere. Well, there wasn't. And I drove 300 miles through no service, no gas stations, to arrive in, Joseph Valley, I think is what it was. Arrive in Joseph Valley, below E, and rolled it. I think we're gonna make it. Old Landy is gonna bring me in to the gas station. Hopefully they're open. What is it? It's about midnight. What you see ahead of you is a little town right on the border of Oregon and Nevada. There's 3 gas stations. Hope one of them has left their pumps open. Does not get much closer than that. Well, like I was saying, we almost didn't make it. Anyways, like I said, about 9:30 we are leaving Winnemucca. I have no idea where I'm at. I'm on the 80 East, headed towards Havasu. I'll get there some point tonight, 8 o'clock, something like that tonight. But out in the desert, I've always liked this kind of environment. It's just so neat. The valleys that you find out here in the desert that are just completely surrounded by snow and mountains. I've always enjoyed this kind of environment. Beautiful place. There's nothing to do out here, I'll tell you that. Beautiful place, nothing to do, and there's nothing to look at, just a bunch of sagebrush. Last night, like I was saying, 300 miles, I went through some crazy, I wasn't expecting to hit so much, well, going over the 22 to Sisters from Silverton. Snow up there, obviously, but once I got into the desert and started ripping through eastern Oregon, I wasn't expecting there to be so much snow. I wasn't expecting it to be so dang cold and frosty on the ground. But old Landy handled it well. I'm excited decided to do that portion of the drive during the day. That way I can see what the heck I was driving through. So that'll be later in the week on my way back home. But interesting place. Winnemucca, or this area, I suppose, has a bunch of active pit mines: gold, silver, uranium, and what was that? Lithium. There's a new lithium mine out here, so they're going to turn this place into a stinking crater. But I don't know, what's the elevation here right now? Like, we're on the desert floor, the valley floor, and we are 4,370 feet elevation. For the folks in Oregon, that's pretty stinking high for the folks in Oregon. Where I grew up, that's pretty lowland elevation, and out here it would be about the same. This is desert floor, lowland elevation here, but oh, it is just so cool. Snow right out there. Here we go. Guess it'll tell me. Golconda, Nevada. .390 valley floor. Something over there. I don't know what that is. Anyways, I'll keep doing occasional check-ins. So, some of you folks may be wondering why I am on this road trip through Oregon and all the way through Nevada, what this Pacific Northwest timber faller is doing, going down to the desert. Well, I am on my way to Bill Williams Nature Reserve, or Wildlife Reserve, down in Lake Havasu, Parker, Arizona, Lake Havasu City, Arizona, kind of out in that area. I was contacted by someone who needs a trail cut through the reserve. So essentially what has happened is there was a little fire that ripped through there, and I don't know what kind of trees they are. They said they were big trees, and we're gonna go check it out and see if we can't knock out their little quarter-mile trail that they need done this week. So we'll be getting footage of that. You will see it coming up in the next few minutes, but in the meantime, enjoy some driving content, some snowy mountains, and looking at the landscape of Arizona. It's a really cool place so far. I wasn't expecting it to be so scenic, but mining town. So sit tight. We have videos of trees coming down. I don't know what kind of trees they are. I've been told they are mesquite. I've been told they're huge. I've seen pictures of them. They're about 40 foot tall, and I don't know, the size of my thigh. So we'll see. I'll be ripping around out there with my square grind, aggressive 32-inch bar with the 500i, West Coast out. Probably not something folks out here are used to seeing. So walking around in the sand of McCorks, it'll be kind of weird. So well, here we are out in the Parker, Arizona, Lake Havasu area, Bill Williams nature reserve. There's a trail. You can see all these dead trees, these burnt dead trees that will impact this trail need to be cut. So got my saw set up over there. Got the rig behind me now. And I'm just gonna keep bumping down this road, cutting as I go, working from the back all the way to the start. That way when I need to come back in tomorrow, the trail's not blocked. So I'll set you up, I'll get some video. I don't know what these kinds of trees are, but they are hard. Been told they might be mesquite, maybe. I'm not sure. All I know is I gotta kill them again. So here we go, here's my saw. These trees are hard, man. They're chain stretchers.
Baby, I was born to fight.
So I got a few down so far, and I'm really just testing them out, see what they do, see what they're like. I've said it now a couple times, they're hard. They're stinking hard trees, but they seem fairly receptive to the standard tricks, you know, Dutchman's and everything. I'm doing my best to keep them out of this trail here, because if I have to put them in the trail, I have to buck them up. So I'm doing my best to keep them out of the trail, and so far they've swung around quite nice. It's hot and dry here. I mean, it's Arizona. It is dry. I'm gonna need a lot more water than I'm used to. Luckily, I have plenty on me right now, and it's not like I'm packed out here. I have my rig. With some special permission, I was allowed to drive out here in the refuge on this trail. Typically, they just take ATVs and quads out here. The park officials, they do. And initially, I thought I was going to have to hike this whole thing in and out, which would have been a real pain in the ass with the sand. It's sandy, and there's a surprising amount of water. I'd have to be mucking through a bunch of water. So, but we're going. We're chooching right along here, and this is gonna be pretty good. Well, it's the end of day one. Got a late start, and there was a lot of confusion there. They left me with a bunch of map points and maps and descriptions, and it seemed like none of the descriptions were right and the maps didn't match up. So had to spend some time scouting and figuring out where exactly I was supposed to be and where exactly I was supposed to be cutting. As you can imagine, this is wildlife refuge, so that portion is pretty important. They don't want you out here just cutting whatever. So got a fair bit of work done. Can't really see it, I guess. That's still work that's to be left, or left to be cut. Got a couple days to finish this up. I've got it all plotted on the map as to when I need to start and stop for my allotted time. That way I make sure I actually finish on time. But I don't see an issue with that. Walking back to get my saw, because I realized that after a couple hours today, I finished up what I needed to do for the day, more than what I needed to do for the day. So it'd be a pretty straightforward job. There she be, rocking the square ground, aggressive chisel chain, 32-inch bar, full wrap handle, West Coast dogs. People out here have never seen nothing like it, and I'm wearing cork boots. I sure stick out when I go to the bar or any crowd, so it's kind of funny, but it's fun. So next stop, we're gonna go check out. I haven't decided. There's either a ghost town out here that I want to go check out, or this radio tower, big lookout radio tower thing. So let's see. Let's pick up the saw here. Walk it back to the pickup. These things are just falling over on their own. It's incredible. The wood is so hard, but it is also so incredibly light. Very strange, very strange. I've been testing them out and kind of experimenting with the individual trees, and they're so light, but man, they are tough to cut. So check in with you later. Landy is proving her worth out here for sure. First time I've had to air down my tires for anything, so just sandy, and then there's water crossings, and just a whole bunch of fun. So last thing I want to do is get stuck out here, so dropped her in 4, locked the diffs, air down the tires, and just cruise around. Well, that was cool. So, the end of day 2 here. Got a fun little deal to deal with here. So I've already got a cut in that one right there. And this thing is obviously uprooting, right? The root plate's up and exposed. I did a little research. Upon further research, I've learned that these are some sort of breed of cottonwood. There's two different kinds of cottonwood in here, but I don't know, they're all burnt. So they are not mesquite, they are cottonwood. So with stuff like this, there's kind of two ways you can deal with this. You can either cut that and chunk it down until it's, you know, finally in a better place and whatnot, or you can do what I'm going to do here and just cut both of these gingerly and carefully, making sure you're not getting too far ahead of yourself and this thing comes flying down at you. But so like I said, I've already put a cut in that one. This thing's already falling. It's just held up by that one there. So we're just gonna get in there, face cut, back cut, and let her rip. If you wanted to be super safe about it, I suppose you could set that one up with a post and smack it with this guy, but frankly, with this being cottonwood and burnt, I don't really trust any post to hold while I'm under there. And that's just an extra cut that you're doing, extra time you're spending underneath that hazard. So I think, honestly, best course of action is just a face cut, back cut, and escape, get out of the way, and let it go where it wants to go. Obviously, I'm pretty comfortable with it because my rig is right there. You can kind of see it. So here we go. Well, that's funny. I say all that, and it's just holding up there nice and tight. It's kind of just has more down pressure straight down on these stems than it has forward. It'll either go any moment by itself, or just smack it with that one. So we're gonna revert to that plan. I'm not used to how light these things are. As you can see, I had that one all cut up. Oh, ran into a stick. Oh, looks like that one had a little extra wood in it. That thing was pretty well cut up as well, so Just had to smack it. These things are so stinking light. There's no weight to them. Something I've been noticing out here. Oh, and another thing are these are sharp and pokey. Oh God, I was, oh, stay there. I was pushing on one. My hand slipped and I raked my arm on some of those. That felt really nice. But part of the game, learning new trees, burnt, but new species that I'm not used to cutting, so it's kind of fun. Let me get back to her. You can tell I'm not used to cutting these kind of trees. I'm used to conifers, you know. I can't hardly tell the lean on these things. So this is one of the bigger ones that I've come across on this job so far. So we're gonna cut into it and we're gonna see, we're gonna find out which way it leans. We'll just cut and adjust. So that was pretty neat. For being a cottonwood, they tend to listen to the hinge pretty darn well. So it actually had a bit of weight out here, I think, towards this little next group of trees. And I have to cut those, but I think that some of those have to come this way. So I had to get this guy on this side of that group of trees, right? So I put a great big old fat Dutchman in it. You can see that. And I've said this so many times, these Dutchmen work really well when you're trying to swing stuff. That's kind of the point. And this line here is where I want the tree to go, which is, it's perfect. It's right exactly where I wanted that tree to go. This Dutchman, or this step, whatever you want to call it, people will call it bypass, but this Dutchman, you pull that in to capture the weight of that tree, right? Since that tree leaned out there a little bit, it helped capture that weight. That tree sat on that side a little bit, created momentum to swing around. Now you can see these things hold on pretty well. I don't know if it's because they're burnt, there's not a lot of weight in the canopy, I don't know, but they'll hold on with very little hinge. So that thing sat, came around, and in the video you could see it sat and stayed there a little bit, and I just needed to tickle a little bit more to bring it around on this side of the next little group of trees I had. Well, here's our next little situation. This is our little road, our trail. Got that guy right there. Same thing, it's uprooted and leaning up into there on that stem. Right over the trail. So the plan here is this tree has pretty good lean out that way. This one is obviously uprooted into this guy. So I'm gonna go over here, make a face cut and a back cut, do my best to direct it that way, because I'm gonna try and fall this one that way, hoping it'll just bring both of those right down into here somewhere. we go. Last day on the job. And only a few more left, but as you can see, there's a couple right at the end here, a couple trouble trees. See that one over there as well. I'm gonna go take care of that one right now, but while I was here, I was just gonna point this thing out. Now we've got a little stobby here. It doesn't look like, nope, it has a fork. Yep, it has a fork right there. This stem has blown over into that fork and is stuck there. And that stem has blown over and is stuck in the fork of this one. So this will be interesting to take care of. I'm sure we can figure something out, but it'll be interesting. Next one is, well, the first one we're gonna do is over here. Still have to take care of this little group. Couple of these in here. That little stub, that little stub, that guy, that one there. Oh, in the mud. Oh. But this one is, this one's up next. I think, unfortunately, my plan, I'm gonna have to try and do it without using this. It seems to lean away from where I need it to, and I need that one to come down first. Anywho, so same thing. You can see this thing has blown over into that guy, and I have no real bullets, anything to kind of smack it with. So we're just gonna have to try and do our best to get it out without. So I think what the plan is here is, because this is still fairly anchored well in there in the ground, and these trees are so light, I have a feeling that this is just putting more downward pressure on this stem than it is pushing it. And that stem kind of leans out there. So if I go in here and I try to just fall it that way, I think it'll just hang there and it won't go anywhere. It won't pull that thing over with it. And if it does, there's a possibility that that whole thing will just come crashing down on me. So I think what the plan is I'm just going to cut that free, right? I'm going to cut it off the stump here. That way it's not anchored into the ground anymore, and it's just free to go wherever it needs to go. And then I'm going to cut that one out this way and try and direct everything away from me as I escape back this way. So let's set you up. Let's see what we can capture here. Best case scenario for me would be when I cut that free from the root ball, it breaks something up there and the whole thing comes crashing down, and then I don't have to worry about that being over my head. But I'm not hopeful for that, but we'll see. So you saw that, right? Chunked this down a little bit, and the way it moved when I did that first one kind of rolled a little bit. It made me think I could get away with chunking it down and eventually something like that would happen. So now we've made it a much safer situation. There's still a little bit of schmuck to deal with, but much safer now. Let's catch the rest of her. So, on further inspection here, I may just end up leaving this. You know, looking at it, the thing is, you never know. So, the first issue I'm kind of coming across is this guy. He's still connected to the stump, right? And you saw in the last one, sliced it off, got it free, got it down, and that's all fine and well, but I don't know how much pressure this one has on the stem of this one. What very well could happen, I could cut that free, and then this whole thing just lift up and fling up into the air because it already has top weight out there and it's sitting fairly horizontal. It has the top weight out there, and this larger stem is pushing down on it, and it could act as a lever right there and fling that side up. So that's my first issue. My second issue is this over here. Right? No big deal. I could do the same thing, cut it off and let it come free, but that's going to create a lot of whip out there. And I have those limbs off the other stem right, off the other stem over there, right up over my head. And with this being cottonwood, I think we've come to the conclusion that this is cottonwood. I don't trust those branch unions up there to be strong enough to withhold that shock. And those limbs might come straight down on top of me. So it's one of those things. It's just me out here. I have, you know, this is Arizona. They run by different rules out here, but it's just me. I have the phone numbers for, you know, EMS and whatnot, but for local EMS, that is. But frankly, I'm just one saw out here. Say I get all this cut up, right? Say I get all this cut up how I want it to, and it doesn't go over. Well, I do have plan B, which plan B would be to smack it with some of these, right? And then it may fall over, but what then? What if it doesn't? What if these, I think I have like 2 options out of these guys that would be able to come down and smack those just a little bit. We wouldn't even be able to hit it with any main stem off of the ones behind me, but we'd tickle that and it might be enough to knock it free or knock it down. But you never know. So, you know, I don't want to be the guy out here that makes an already unstable situation even less stable for someone else to come walk into. Honestly, I think the best course of action here is gonna wait or tell the contractor, the guy who I got this job from, tell him, you know, hey, you need to get out here. There's another trail right here. Well, this is the trail that I've been working on right here. And this is where these 2 trails converge. Tell them, park your little excavator or mini skid or whatever it is you have. They have some kind of machine out here. They do have a dozer out here. You get a winch line, you toss a line up in there, and you just winch the damn thing over. Just pull it all over. Puts no one in harm's way while things are actively falling. And frankly is a safer solution and is more of a sure thing. You know, these things are already weak and loose. As you can see, they're falling down all over the place. This thing's just acting like a teepee. The root structures are already weak, so you throw a winch line up there and you put a 12,000 pound winch on even, and I bet you'd pull that whole thing over just fine. So I think I'm gonna let this one stand. I'm gonna leave it for the contractor to deal with, and I can excuse me, let the contractor know, and I can give him counsel or advice on how to deal with that, because he's not a tree guy. I'm the tree guy. So but he has access to equipment. I have access to my power saw. So we're gonna let that one stay. We're gonna take care of the rest of these here, and we're gonna call it. That'll be it. Hey, you guys about got taken out by some blowdown. Sweet. There you go. Expect the unexpected, I guess. Well, there we go. That's it. Finished her off. You guys almost got took out by that little piece of blow down there. That was cool. Now I got to take my gear and hike through all that mud and muck. Yay. Well, there we go. We finished her off. Time to put the flip-flops back on. All in all, it was a pretty good job. Learned a lot. This species of cottonwood or whatever it is, I think it's cottonwood. It's hard. It may be because it's burnt and super dry, but it is hard. I mean, either that or there's sand, a lot of sand embedded in the bark or something. Because even a nice fresh sharp chain with a nice grind on it wouldn't freaking cut it. Oh my gosh, I felt like I was just cutting with a dull chain the entire time, which is hard on me. I don't know if you've ever cut with, well, a lot of you folks, that's that's all you've ever cut with, but if you cut with a dull chain, it's taxing on you, on your body, and it is not good for your saw. Cutting with a dull chain, not good for your saw. Oh, gross. Not good for your bar. Your chain's already in worse wear, so I mean, I guess that doesn't matter much. Anyways, next stop, order of business, is to go get Landy cleaned up. We're gonna get Landy cleaned up. We're gonna get air back in the tires. We had to air down to 20 psi, which isn't crazy, but it's enough. We had to air down to 20 to kind of help ourselves through this mud, and I kind of went exploring and rock crawled a little bit. So we've been running 20 psi the entire time we've been out here. So that's on my list of things. I got to air up the tires and go give Landy a bath, and I don't know, I'm probably, while I'm at the car wash, spray off my boots and whatnot. So, donkey!